I think it has been certainly a baptism of fire for me as a first-term MP. You know, I'm a pretty reserved sort of person anyway, so I'm certainly more comfortable in the electorate. Yes, I've found my way in Canberra now, I think.
Bridget Archer doesn't necessarily seem the type to create national headlines.
Beautiful morning, eh? Amazing, yeah, for this time of year.
But in one term of federal politics, the member for Bass has generated plenty. In late 2020, Bridget Archer issued her first scathing rebuke of a coalition policy.
The cashless debit card program is a punitive measure enacted on the presumption.
She then abstained from voting. A year later, Ms Archer crossed the floor to try and force debate on a federal corruption watchdog.
I don't take this decision lightly at all. People will often say, well, are you disappointed that the government hasn't delivered on an integrity commission? Yeah, sure, but my frustration is not that they haven't delivered. My frustration is why they haven't been able to deliver it. And that is because it is so politically contested.
Just want to show you a photo. Can you just talk to me about what's happening there?
The Treasurer stopped to talk to me. We have a good relationship. And he just stopped to say, what's going on? Are you okay? I was feeling sort of emotional. Treasurer was being nice and supportive. I was disappointed to see some of the commentary about this photo. If I felt that I was subjected to bullying or intimidation, I would call that out.
I call the member for Bass.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker.
In February, Ms Archer was one of 5 Liberals who crossed the floor on contentious religious discrimination legislation, concerned it would erode Tasmanian laws and wouldn't extend protections to transgender students.
More than horrified, I'm utterly distressed by this exclusion. I think despite all of the challenges of the last few years, I feel like I have represented the views of the people of Bass.
Bridget Archer's rival is unimpressed with her decisions to cross the floor.
Well, the only reason why she's crossed the floor on those issues is because the Liberal Party doesn't represent the people here in northern Tasmania. The Liberal member for Bass is not listened to by the Prime Minister of Australia. A vote for Bridget Archer is a vote for Scott Morrison.
Ross Hart says there's no Labor policy he disagrees with, but if there were, he'd raise it in caucus.
It's not necessary for me to cross the floor. My party's policies are more aligned with the issues within this electorate.
The Prime Minister made a point of visiting marginal Tasmanian seats ahead of calling the election.
It's so nice to see you. Lovely to see you. Thank you. Hey, Bridget. Lovely to see you.
I think most analysts would think that Bridget Archer as a candidate is probably more popular than the Prime Minister, and that's unusual. So I'd be surprised if the Prime Minister has a very high profile in Bass over the course of the election.
While Bridget Archer's profile has grown in the past few months, nothing is guaranteed in the seat of Bass. Voters here make a habit of booting out sitting MPs, and since 1993 only one federal member has been re-elected. The Liberals hold Bass with a margin of just 0.4%, the smallest of any coalition-held seat.
Ross Hart knows how fickle the voters of Bass can be. The lawyer was elected as the federal member in 2016, before narrowly losing the seat to Ms Archer at the 2019 poll.
The people of Bass voted you out 3 years ago. Why would they vote you in this time?
I only missed out by less than 600 votes last time. There were a lot of issues outside my control, which were very much focused upon scare campaigns such as the loss of franking credits.
There you go. A win in Bass would be a key piece of the puzzle if Anthony Albanese were to become Prime Minister.
Oh, well done.
The Labor leader was in Bass on day one of the campaign, but his press conference with Ross Hart was largely overshadowed by a stumble over key economic figures. Ross Hart is used to campaigning, and he's well and truly on the hustings, with cost of living his main talking point.
When I talk to people, they complain about significant increases in the cost of rent, cost of food. So it's not just the cost of filling up your car with petrol.
How House prices in Launceston have skyrocketed and rental vacancy rates are less than 1%. Ross Hart is talking up Labor's plans to funnel future fund investment returns into social and affordable housing, although it's unclear how much of that housing would be in Tasmania.
You don't need to walk very far around the streets of Launceston to see people that are sleeping rough. That pains me, and it's something that should be addressed by any government.
Bridget Archer says the cut to the fuel excise has made a difference to people in Bass, and a budget measure for earlier access to cheaper medicines will also benefit northern Tasmanians with chronic diseases.
The government is taking a range of measures to improve skills, increase apprentices, try and bring through some of those skills into the future so that we can build more housing.
If the coalition can't hold Bass with a popular and outspoken local candidate like Bridget Archer, then I think it's going to be very challenging for the Morrison government to hold power. The only thing that is certain is that all eyes will be on Bass come election night.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.